Yesterday, a man who claimed to be Alex's cousin, David Ekubo, came out to make heavy allegations against Alex's wife, the woman Alex called mother, and his two younger siblings. The man had alleged that Alex's biological mother and his only biological sister, Chioma, are alive and are not aware of what happened to Alex. Few hours ago, a man known as Clinton Ekubo on Facebook came out to amplify what David Ekubo and Ife Ekubo said yesterday. So I will be starting with what Ife Ekubo wrote, and then before I proceed to what Clinton Ekubo wrote. But one thing that stood out about what Clinton wrote is that a few days after the burial, he gave a special shout out to Ike, Tino, Vintage, Emeka Ihedioha, the governor of Abia State, and other dignitaries who ensured Alex was properly buried. He was full of appreciation for them. No complaint was made, and I am shocked that a week after, he is back again asking very silly questions. So the point is, who instigated this? Who started this? There's an anonymous account that has insisted that the whole thing is being ostracized by Alex's so-called only biological sister, Chioma. So my point is, Chioma needs to come out and speak for herself. She needs to stop going through proxies if she has an issue with anything that happened at the funeral. Like, for example, saying, oh, I don't know why they wore white. Okay, Clinton wore black, but a lot of people wore white. If Chioma herself was not okay with that, she should have said, oh no, I don't want us to wear white. Or she should have worn something different. But then you wore white and you're now coming to act drama through proxies. I honestly see her as an enemy within, and I totally get why, Alex chose to keep her at arm's length. And I remember in 2024 when Alex posted their family picture, Alex said something about, oh, you give love the way you know. So there was how he coined it, but you would just know that he was just being formal and being very, trying to be diplomatic based on that's his biological sister, regardless of whatever it is that is going on between them. So I think I've said too much. Let me get down to what I want to talk about, Ife's comment, and then we'll focus on Clinton's. So Ife said, please, there is nothing of such. Ikenna was given the honor he deserved and more in his hometown, Arochukwu. The issue at hand is that there is more to Ikenna's death. His illness and passing away was not communicated to the family. Everything was concealed by his stepmother. Not even his only biological sister, Chioma, knew he was on a sick bed until the day he passed. So this is from Ekubo Clinton. Honestly speaking, my brother David Ekubo and my sister Ife Ekubo were right in their write-up. His stepmother arranged her best friend's daughter for Alex for a wife without Ekubo Okwareke family's knowledge, and the marriage was done just like that. We were shocked when we heard that Alex was married. I personally asked, what is going on? She channeled Alex Ekubo to her family, while there was nothing we do in Ekubo Okwareke family that he will attend or show interest. Alex lost interest in our family and became a member of his stepmother's family to the extent that he attended every marriages done in her family. There was no intimacy between Alex and Chioma, his own biological sister, from the same mother, and he became too close to his stepmother's children, which I don't understand. Alex was sick. Alex Ekubo was sick. Nobody knew till his death. He died. We, the family, didn't know that our son was sick and died till it was announced to the public by his stepmother. Alex Ekubo rejected his biological mother while he was alive and doesn't want to do anything with her. His biological mother is still alive.
Oh, I love you. Say hi to me. Oh, my God.
Jesus! Mommy! Mommy!
Oh, this is so beautiful, lovely. Wow, it's beautiful. Do you like the car? Fantastic.
His burial arrangements was planned and arranged by his friends and stepmother without the members of the family. I think I was the only family member that saw his corpse and stood on ground to supervise what was going on. Her family members were everywhere as if it was their own. The burial arrangement was rushed as if there was something somebody was trying to cover for us. That particular statement is nonsense. Alex was 40 and he was buried almost 6 weeks after he passed. So how was the burial rushed? I insist that I wish the family brought up all these issues before he was buried so it will be sorted and everybody will know their place. Because why so sudden? I showed you, if you were attentive previously, the guy held Ubikubana, held his friend. So why the sudden 360?
If you bite the finger where the finger.
Nobody is explaining what really happened to our son. How come the blood clot on his eyes? Is blood clot on your eyes part of the cancer also? We also heard that Alex Ekubo was brought to the hospital dead. My uncle, my father in bracket, I think he meant Alex's father, knew nothing about all this. His death announcement was a shock to me and he was buried just like that. The truth is, when the cancer becomes metastatic, it can spread to anywhere. My sister did an outreach one time and they helped a lot of cancer patients offset their bills in the hospital. My sister said there are people who had like cancer of the blood, it affected their eyes, they went blind. There were people who had cancer of, let's say, the liver, they couldn't work. So it really depends. It really depends. When it spreads, you never can tell when it spreads, it attacks every part. It can attack any part of the body. So that one, this man has nothing on them as regards this particular one. So if there was blood clot on his eyes, it's possible that over time a lot of things went down. Like Cutie Jules earlier reported that his mother was the only person who was aware that he was sick and that since second week of April, he was incommunicado. Every time his friends tried to reach him and they couldn't reach him, they'll call his mother and then she'll say, oh, Alex is resting. He doesn't want to talk to anybody. So they just assumed he wanted to keep to himself because it's obvious that maybe after he got married or over time, he became withdrawn and his friends kind of respected that they didn't push. Maybe they should have pushed, like Yomi Casual's wife said. Maybe they should have pushed, but they didn't push so much. The moment she told them that, they relaxed until few hours before he passed, when he had gotten to a very bad stage. His stepmother called Vintage, called his friends, and they rushed to the hospital. And it wasn't long after they arrived, Alex passed. So, but according to the story I heard, he was not brought in dead into Care. He came into the hospital alive, but he was in a bad state because I learned the doctors tried really hard to revive him, but they couldn't, and he eventually passed. So he didn't use the right punctuations, but I'm going to read exactly as he wrote. My uncle is responding to his wives because he is at his wife's mercy, forgetting that we own him and his son, Alex. Ekubo Okwareke were asked not to put on white for a boy of 40 years. Please note this that
You gotta always ask God.
Please note this that I am not writing this to chase anything, but just for clarity's sake. Please take away properties from this. Ekubo Okwareke family demand an explanation on our son since he could not explain Since she could not explain to us indoor, we are Igbos. How can a woman married to the family become stronger than her husband's family members? In Arochukwu Kingdom in Abia State, only men that their fathers are dead are eligible to be called Mazi. But I named Alex Ikende Ekubo's stepmother Mazi for her audacity to influence things to happen without the members of the family's permission on our son. But it is well. Alex Ikenna Ekubo Okwareke, rest in peace. Okay, so that's all on what Alex's cousin on Facebook, Clinton Ekubo, penned down. And like I have always, if you have been following the whole post I have made regarding this Alex's, funeral, burial, death, I have been very consistent. I have consistently asked why Alex mother kept it to herself. I remember in one of my vlogs, I was talking about, oh, they should have even prayed, they should have opened up to Pastor Jerry. I just felt it was insane. Like, do you know what it means to, like, your son is dying and you're keeping it? He says, don't tell anybody, and you kept it to yourself. Now, as an individual, and now I'm beginning to look at it from another angle. If it was her own child that was dying and then told her, do not tell anybody else, is she trying to tell me she will not she will not seek spiritual help? She will not even inform anybody? Like, it's a very weird thing. Although I would say clearly that Alex's cousin's approach is totally wrong. I feel like this should have come up even before the burial. And since it did not come up before the burial, they should have waited for at least 6 months before they. To me, I feel like this type of thing, call a press conference. You don't need to, start talking through corners. His sister Chioma reserves the right to come out and say, see, this is what I think is going on. I was sidelined. But on the other hand, I feel like if also, alternatively, if this guy no send you now when he died alive, why don't you just let everything go? If you guys feel like maybe the woman charmed him, because I've seen cases like that where stepmothers, use black magic to channel the eyes of their stepchildren from their biological mother. If you feel like that was an issue, why didn't you go spiritual? Why didn't you leak the news to the press when Alex was alive to defend himself? Because as he stands now, Alex cannot defend himself. Whatever is being said is based on, okay, stepmother said. If the stepmother comes out now to tell us, oh, Alex told me not to tell anybody, he made me take an oath not to tell anybody, they will not believe her, because they'll be like, how can Alex say that? Alex cannot say that. So somehow, the woman is in the middle of it all. But like I said, the only place I will blame her is, your place as a stepmother. In Igbo culture, you cannot wash away the biological mother of a child, no matter what the issue is. The day, if not that, like they said, Alex got married, they did not know. On a very good day, as Alex is getting married, his mother will be there. It doesn't matter if she disappeared and resurfaced after 100 years, but she will be there. Except she says, see, I'm not interested in being present. But in Igbo culture, she will be there as the biological mother of the boy. So I really, it's a bit of a struggle for me, but I have always been very clear. There has not been any time I held his mother for keeping his illness a secret. I never, ever did that. I consistently said this woman should have opened up to at least Pastor Jerry, who was Alex's spiritual director. I love to believe. So, but in all of this, I feel like if the Ekubos love Alex so much, they should also consider what he loved, which is privacy, which is not being in the media for the wrong news. For the past 6 weeks, Alex passed. It's been good news, celebrating videos of how much of a happy person he was. And seeing this now, it's not a good look. There are tons of lessons to learn from this incident. Number one is, it is not everything someone tells you not to tell anybody that you must adhere to. Secondly is, you must be very realistic in everything you do. As a stepmother, know your place. You only exist when that stepchild of yours is still alive and breathing. The moment they breathe their last, you will be in for a premium pepper soup, like better pepper soup, because then that stepchild of yours is not present to defend you and say, oh no, I said so, I did this. So you must learn to be, like think ahead, protect yourself. And then Alex's wife's family, I don't understand. Which kind marriage then do like that? Marriage where you do your husband's people no come. Nah, nah, wow.